How giant and horrible my foot is compared to yours.
I have pretty small
disgusting
feet.
boat foot.
I have size 6 feet.
That's so tiny.
Yeah, and James is a size 13.
James, compare your foot. Look at that big, beautiful man foot. You're like a hobbit man. Like
yeah, James, you're like a hobbit man.
It's hard to find shoes. I'm like Shaq.
Feet are gross.
It's hard to find shoes. I'm like Shaq.
Why you say it like that?
Because then that's how Shaq would say it.
Did you see he's got like a drink and like all kinds of crazy? I went to the grocery store, and it was like Shaq juice, and it was like an alcoholic drink. I was like, oh.
I feel like you can do better than Shaq juice.
It's not Shaq juice. It's something else. Shaq-arita.
Shaq is interesting because for the longest time, people would always say Shaq's a great businessman because he only invests in products that he believes in. But something seems to have changed in like the last 5 to 10
Doesn't
years.
he have like 14 kids?
Where I see a lot more of Shaq's name on a bunch of things that I go,
Shaq-oween?
Shacktober and stuff.
Shacktober, that's what it was. I think he's just
Mary?
having fun. Like the him just being like, I made an alcoholic drink is like, hell yeah.
Yeah, but there's no way he's like vetted. Like we're not at the point where it used to be that, well, Shaq, he vets everything. And now I'm like, he's definitely he's rolling.
The Papa John's thing. I feel like that's I don't know. Do we love or hate that? How do we feel about the Papa John's thing?
What is the Papa John's thing?
Because he's like an owner of Papa John's.
Oh, that's fine. What's wrong with that?
I thought we don't like Papa John's.
Do we like that pizza?
Papa John's doesn't work there anymore.
No, but not even that. I mean, like the quality of the pizza.
I don't know Papa 30 John's.
It's not the same pizza.
What was that?
That's my Papa John.
He makes basketball shoes, which he sells at Walmart.
Papa John's does?
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Shaq does for kids who can't afford pricier shoes.
Oh, that's
because
cool.
he wants them to be able to get cool shoes.
Oh, that's cute. I like that.
I mean, he probably also makes a bunch of money off of it.
Sure. But the pricing on shoes now is ridiculous. Like that whole industry has gone crazy where they're charging like $500 for shoes that have about $15 worth of material and labor in them. So
I just walk barefoot everywhere.
Yeah.
Like a hobbit.
Zach and I were going somewhere the other day and I helped you put your shoes on, but then you were like, I could have just gone barefoot. Like I think we went to Cheesecake Factory and then after you said, I could have just been barefoot.
That's where you definitely were going to be barefoot.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Well, my feet never touch the ground.
But
they're
you're in a
touching it right
Cheesecake
now.
Factory. There is you have to wear shoes, fancy shoes too.
But we were on the patio. Would they say no shoes, no
we
shirts,
were on
no
the
service?
patio, and I would challenge any Cheesecake Factory worker to know whether or not it's a medical necessity for me not to wear shoes.
To be free dogging it.
Puppies are loose.
The puppies are loose. The Papa John's.
When you wear shoes, do you often just wear shoes for everyone else? So everyone else doesn't have to see your feet?
Yeah, my feet are not... they're not typically what you would describe as.
I don't think anyone's. I don't think
human feet.
I don't think anyone's feet.
Yeah, some people are just grossed out by feet.
Yeah. So like feet out in public, just in general, are like kind of.
I also smash into my toes a lot. It's very painful. So it's nice to have some barrier.
So you should get some steel tip boots, right? Put a little steel.
Yeah, a little motorcycle pants, little steel tip boots. But boots are hard for me to put on. Elyse wouldn't be able to put those boots on me. I don't think.
We just need to get big old giant shoes like the shoes from Doug.
Oh,
what are they called?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. What are they called? It's not Sky Jordans, but it's Sky something.
It's almost
Sky Davis.
Sky Davis.
Davis.
The most money I would have ever wasted on something was when someone made replica Sky Davis shoes.
Did I send you those or did you send me those? It's like, ooh, that's
maybe we'll never know. That's a question for another day. But this is the podcast where we ask questions and we answer them in a funny way. Hopefully.
Are we don't set that expectation.
All that?
Yeah, we were recording all that. Yeah.
Oh.
You turned into Steve Urkel the way you said that. Were we recording all that?
Do you want us to do something else?
No, it's fine. We can talk about my shoes and feet.
Are you sure?
We're going to get there anyway.
Yeah.
It's out of the way now.
Zach and I ordered so much food at Cheesecake Factory. It was disgusting.
It was great.
Why?
It was great.
It was fantastic. I love Cheesecake Factory. If they wanted to sponsor us.
Please.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
I'm Elyse Willems.
I'm James Willems.
I'm AJ LoCascio.
And I'm here too.
You're Zach
You're
Anner.
Zach LoCascio.
I'm
Zach Anner.
Zach LoCascio.
Zach LoCascio.
Which movie star known for his action roles, has been in at least 15 movies with numbers in the title, cameo included. Movie star known for his action roles has been in at least 15 movies with numbers in the title, cameos included.
It's got to be Eric Roberts. Action star Eric Roberts.
I do wonder if there are other answers for this question and I'm just not aware of them.
Oh, did you do all this research yourself?
I did some of this
Did you do the
research
counting?
myself. Well, I've got
I guess what I'm
a list
trying
here.
to say is this a question where you were like, I wonder, and then you determined it all yourself, or is this something that you saw on like a list somewhere?
Well,
I'm going to say the former.
I don't remember.
Okay.
All
So
right,
it's the
I don't know.
former. I'm going to say not Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's too high.
I mean, Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone has been a lot.
There's-
Rocky 2,
yeah,
Rocky
there's
3.
got a
5
lot of
Rockies, but
sequels.
then he
Or-
stopped numbering them.
Yeah.
But then Expendables.
Okay, there might be more answers to this question.
Oh, just like
than
we
I'm
could just
aware.
name other actors.
Okay.
So like Jean-Claude Van Damme, who we know has been
Has he been in a lot of sequels though?
what about Steven Seagal? Has he done?
They don't really do sequels.
They just do one-off adventures.
Yeah. They do a perfect film and then they move on to the next perfect
Yeah,
film.
because
What
he
a
doesn't
life.
want to play the same character twice.
Yeah.
He's got such a range.
Yeah, yeah,
Wait, are we
he's
talking
ready
about
for the next
Steven
one.
or Jean-Claude?
Well, the interesting thing about this person is the number. It's not just sequel numbers. Some of them are, but a lot of them are just the number of the movies happen to be in the title. The movie title just happens to have a number in it organically.
I see, like Jungle 2 Jungle.
Yes, like
Or
that,
like
or
the taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
I see. Cradle to the Grave.
okay. So you're doing a lot of.
It's DMX, isn't
Okay,
it?
Bruce Willis is 12 Monkeys, right? That's not even a sequel. That's just a number film.
Yeah.
Then he's got
Technically a sequel to itself.
Die Hard 2, but then it's Die Hard with a Vengeance, so that's not a number.
Die Harder. It's Die Hard, Die Harder. I don't think
it
it's
could
Bruce
be
Willis.
because there's a whole unspoken weird. So Bruce Willis had a whole like after career where he started doing like kind of like Carl Winslow, where
Yeah.
he did a bunch of movies that most people wouldn't be aware of. So there's
Yeah.
probably a ton of those.
But they're not
The
sequels.
Sixth
Reginald
Sense,
Bell Johnson.
does the Sixth Sense, is the
Ah.
sixth, does that count as a number?
SIX.
That
It
That
counts.
would
should.
be a number.
I don't think it's Bruce Willis.
Fun fact: Reginald Vell Johnson couldn't be in the Die Hard sequels because of obligations for Family Matters.
Thank God.
What?
Yeah,
What would make sense? He's an LA cop, and the only movie that takes place in LA is the first one.
read it on IMDb.
Such a great
They'd
actor.
fly him out.
Such a lovable
Well, why would he
person.
be there?
They say we need them. We need him for
Yeah.
this.
Doesn't he call him in one of the movies? Does he call him in the second one?
I don't know. The
I don't
second one is not the one that I'm.
Yeah, I don't
That's
remember the second
quick.
one that
That's
well.
that's
Acquainted with.
Dulles, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm
I don't
gonna
think
go,
it's Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis is a really good guess. I'm going to go with someone more obscure. I'm going to go, but I also don't actually have any answers for that. Bruce Willis is a very good one.
The only thing is she says cameos, which means that it's someone who isn't like we're thinking the lead of these movies, but her question seems to imply that this person pops up in other things too.
What do we define it? Like, is Christopher Lee an action star? Sometimes he was an action star in Attack of the Clones. His face was mostly CG.
He's the man with
I
the
don't
golden
think
gun.
we would label him as primarily an action star, though. I think that I don't know how.
How do we rate what do we decide as an action star? Is it the quickness with which you move? Is it the amount of hits you take?
There's like Jackie Chan.
It's the ability to get knocked down and keep getting back up again.
Yeah,
that the answer?
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Sylvester
Was that Sylvester Stallone? That sounded like Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay.
Everybody.
My John C. Reilly is very close to my.
They think
Sylvester
they're
Stallone.
they're in the same realm. Yeah.
There's someone we're not thinking of, but I'm gonna Bruce Willis. I'm gonna go with Bruce Willis as well. I'm sorry, I'm piggybacking off of James.
I'm going Sylvester Stallone. I didn't say Bruce Willis. Zach
I
did.
said Bruce Willis.
I-
Oh, then I'm piggybacking off of Zach.
I'm not giving you a piggyback ride.
What? Carry me, Zach LoCascio.
You see how curved my spine is?
That's
my
perfect.
tummy would touch the floor.
I will seat upon your back like a little marsupial.
Okay,
Or
fine.
I guess in your tummy sack, in
Yeah.
your tummy pouch,
Oh,
like a marsupial.
I don't.
You don't have a choice. I'm your baby.
Okay.
You have to take care of me. So are you going with Bruce Willis too?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So, James, you may very well be right.
Wow.
Because now that I'm examining this question, there may be other action stars that do fit this rule.
Captain Crunch.
But the one that I was kind of looking at was Bruce Willis.
Interesting.
Okay. Because he did The First Deadly Sin, Die Hard 2, Loaded Weapon 1, 4 Rooms, 12 Monkeys, Fifth Element, Sixth Sense, Whole 9 Yards, Whole 10 Yards, Ocean's 12,
Oh my
16
goodness.
Blocks, Catch 44, Expendables 2, Red 2, Lego Movie 2, 10 Minutes Gone, Honorable Mention, Lucky Number 11.
That counts as a number.
Slevin?
But we have Rambo,
That's-
First Blood.
Hey,
Rambo, First Blood
don't
Part
come
2.
breathing down my neck because you might be right too. You might
Spy
be right
Kids.
too.
We got Spy
We got
Kids.
Spy Kids.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
You might be correct.
So,
So you just went through and counted Bruce Willis's IMDb page.
No,
I'm very proud of you.
No, I think I saw in some unrelated movie thread, people said, isn't it interesting how Bruce Willis has been in so many movies with numbers in the title? And I went, yeah. It is
It
interesting.
is
interesting.
So I think it works as long as it's like not sequels. He's been in the most movies with numbers in the titles that aren't necessarily
some of them are sequels.
Some are, but not
Yeah.
necessarily sequels.
I don't know. I don't know if this is true or not,
We
but
need to
it's
get you
a
a
fun
trivia
question.
book.
Seven
It's like a book of
Psychopaths?
trivia.
Look, I have it's harder than you might think.
Here's a trivia question. What have I got in my pockets?
Oh, he loves to.
What have
ask
I got
that
in my
question.
We'll never
pockets?
figure it
What are in your pockets right now?
What is in my pocket? I've got hand sanitizer.
Oh.
Okay.
That's it.
I just came back from a convention and my keys.
Mm.
Listen, I don't have
That's
a lot
not
going
going to
on.
be, that wouldn't be enough hand sanitizer for a whole convention.
Oh,
for me.
and part of a Biscoff wrapper from Delta Airlines.
Yeah, you got to keep that part.
Got to keep that part. That's the top part. That's the good stuff. You could turn those in and you get one Biscoff once you eat 100 of them. How are you guys?
I'd be doing a lot better if you guys told me what happens if you tickle a penguin.
I mean,
I can
there's
give
one
you.
definitive answer.
Well, let me give you 4 options.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh, hold on. I want a free guess.
Yeah, free ball it.
I'm going to say get shocked
Get shocked. Like
because
static
you're not
electricity.
allowed to tickle penguins. So
This is AJ's dad
Yeah,
saying
because
it's
they got
illegal to talk
government
to
secrets. If you tickle a penguin, they'll
Yeah.
tell you all the secrets.
I know I shouldn't be making edit comments, but can you take out the part where I said that AJ's dad fucks dolphins? I've never met
Can
the
you
man.
can you take that part out but leave this part in?
Oh, you know what I found out? Actually, update. My mom listens to the podcast.
Oh yeah.
I did.
And I didn't know that. So now I can't do my impression of my mom, which is like, what are you talking about? That's my impression of my mom. But she enjoyed the podcast and liked Slippery Abe was her favorite thing.
Okay.
She specifically pointed out Slippery Abe. And I was like, thank you, Mom.
She's a big Abe fan.
She said, I was laughing my A** off about the Abe Lincoln and the luge.
Wait, she was
Aw.
laughing her Abe off?
She was laughing. Yeah, I guess that is what she wrote.
That makes me so happy that she
Yeah.
was. Tell her to send us a review. We'll read it
She
on the show.
Also said, oh my gosh, I only wish I could see you and your friends while you were doing the podcast because that would just make it funnier.
She doesn't prefer the visual of you riding Zach
Is that what you mean overall? What?
as you've described it
In her
many
mind, yeah.
times
Yeah.
now.
I'm sure my mom is going to love that. If
My
we were-
problem with that is if we were recording this on video, I feel like we're all such hams that if AJ said, I want a piggyback ride, I would get down on the floor and we would do it.
You're
Yeah,
talking about a
probably
piggyback
right.
ride?
Yeah.
Okay. We have discussed it and we haven't done it.
You guys
saying we
doing that
should?
is the equivalent of like having, the dad asking the son to have a catch with him. Will you get down on the floor and ride my back?
Right, my bad.
Oh, jeepers, I never thought the day would come, Dad.
I just need you to tell me what happens if you tickle a
You
penguin.
said I was waiting for the options that
Oh.
they both
Okay.
declined.
Yeah.
And then
So do you want to lock in your answers before I give James the options?
Yeah, I'm going to say there's not much they can do. I doubt they'll laugh. They mostly just sit. They probably eat
Think
and
they're going to
poop.
file a fucking complaint?
and
What do you
pee.
think they're going to do?
Yeah. Well, lay an egg. Something bad. I'm going to say that they're going to probably either fart or poop because what other options are there?
Okay, so you're saying
They're not
fart or
going to
poop.
laugh. I'm going to say they excrete some sort of something like a poop or a pee.
Ooh.
Like
Okay.
a poop or a pee. I'm
All right.
not thrilled about it. I'm not even saying it as a joke. I'm just imagining what could they possibly do?
Zach, what do you think?
I said if you try to tickle a penguin, get shot.
I get shocked. Okay.
Okay. I saw March of the Penguins and they didn't do much. My dad okay. Side story. AJ side stories. AJ side stories. My dad, when March of the Penguins came out, was like, buddy, I got a surprise for you. And we drove 2 hours, to go to, and he would not tell me what the surprise was.
How
And
old
we
were
got-
you?
I was like 17.
That's the surprise for a 17-year-old young man.
because he thought it was the funniest thing in the world that there was a documentary about penguins called March of the Penguins, and we drove to a like independent theater in the middle of God knows where in like Pennsylvania or upstate New York to see this movie, and he thought it was so funny that he brought me to a screening of March of the Penguins, and then when we got there, he was disgusted by the movie. Because there's like parts where they're like showing the insides of their throat and it's all hairy and then them like feeding each other. I'm like gagging just thinking about it. And he was like covering his eyes going, this was a big mistake. But before the movie, he like showed me proudly, like, this is the poster. We're seeing March of the Penguins, as if I'd never heard of it. I was like, yeah, Dad, I've heard of this. But he was like laughing his ass off.
Child
thinking
abuse.
He had
penguins
he switched me
remorse.
yeah.
He said, you're 17 years old. You're living under my house. You're a minor. You have one more year that I can make you do stuff like go see March
He
of the
thought
Penguins.
that was the funniest thing. And honestly, he was right. It was a very good time.
Did he get emotionally invested or was he just disgusted?
He thought it was a fucking goof.
I remember him. Yes, he thought it was a goof. And it was to drive someone such an obscene amount of time to see a movie that was probably playing much closer. And he was mostly disgusted, as I remember. Yeah.
Because there's some real gut-wrenching parts of that movie.
There is some sad
Is he
things.
sort of like, he went in and he's like, I don't think penguins should mate. I think this is wrong.
Enough, I say. Stop mating. Let's end the penguin line.
Maybe
No,
he'd
he did
be
not
able to
say
answer this question.
I'm going to say they poop.
James, would you like your options?
I
now?
would love my options, please.
Option A, the penguin laughs. B, hiccups. C, sneezes. D, faints.
Oh, well, I'm going to go faints.
Yeah, faints is good. Can I phone a friend?
You already
James,
locked it
yeah.
in.
What do you think it is?
It's probably faints.
Okay, I'm going to go with faint.
Okay.
I'm going to say faints.
Penguins, they're just like us. They laugh if you tickle them.
I thought
Not
laughing
the
was
way I tickle.
Yeah, that's true.
I tickle by grabbing them around their big fat throats until they pass out.
Can confirm I've seen him do it. That's why he's not allowed back at the LA Zoo. Wow, they laugh. I thought, okay, so I genuinely thought laughing was an only human
They do
response.
a little like thing that kind of sounds like laughter.
But
It's
is it
real laughter.
Oh, it's not a real
Can
laugh.
It might
They don't have
be.
Can we
capacity
hear
for
it?
that.
Can we hear it, please?
Yeah, do
Yeah,
you have
let
an
me see
audio
if I
clip?
can find this penguin.
Penguin laughing.
laughing.
Can you link it to the Dolby Atmos?
Dolby Atmos.
Can you make Adobe Atmos, please? You said it like you were, oh, please, Dolby Atmos.
Dolby Atmos, please.
All right, let me see.
More Ovaltine,
Let me see if this will
please.
pick up.
Oh my God, that's adorable. I love
Yeah.
that. As long as it's not in pain.
Thank you for that question, Elyse.
Yeah, that was really cute.
That's cute.
That was adorable. This is a cute podcast now.
And he seemed like he was loving it too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I can't begin to try and
you're doing it
understand the
wrong.
mind of a penguin.
Gee, how many penguins has James killed trying to tickle them and it just doesn't work?
They keep fainting.
Did James get it right because he has hands-on experience trying to murder penguins?
Literal
guess-
hands-on experience.
I'd say he was probably closest.
Yeah.
Okay.
The drug morphine is named after Morpheus, the Roman god of what?
We know
The Matrix.
this. We know this. We all know this one. Am I supposed to just answer straight up like Zach does?
Does Zach know it?
We've all read Sandman.
I don't know this one, and I wouldn't say it if I did.
To be fair, I have not read Sandman.
You haven't read Sandman?
The art is grotesque, and the writer.
Well,
It-
I always
it's
thought it looked
also
really ugly.
Now we
grotesque.
can't go back.
I have a pretty good idea what it would be, and it's the Matrix, like I said.
Yeah.
More specifically, the Nebuchadnezzar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe he's Morpheus. He's the god of morphine.
That's what it is. Morphin time.
So was Morpheus in the Matrix? Was that his name, or did they give him that name?
I think it's like Neo.
Oh,
right?
is it like you're reborn? I never actually thought about that. So like Switch and
That's
Tupac
what
or whatever
that's
their
why I'm
names.
like, some of their names are very specific to how they feel about themselves when in and out of the Matrix. But Morpheus was born not in the, he was never in the Matrix, right? Or was he? Do we remember?
Oh, I don't remember. One
Zach,
of them.
I'm looking at you. Tell me everything you know about the Matrix and also the Animatrix.
I didn't really pay attention to what you guys were saying because I was just thinking as you were talking about the names that I would definitely be a mouse.
Yeah, that would
And
suck.
that would really suck if you get your new name and it's like
Mouse.
mouse.
But I think
You're
that's a name.
reborn.
That's his name. That's a name
He was born mouse?
No, well, he was from them. They freed him from the Matrix.
Okay.
So that means he probably went by some sort of alias. He gave himself the alias Mouse, which, to be fair, it should be Mouse and then a string of numbers and letters afterwards.
Mine would be
'cause then it's
like
getting Mouse.
Grinder, but how the app spells it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Neo did name himself. That was his handle
he gave himself the username. Now, some people would argue it was his destiny to always have named himself Neo.
This
but
is the one.
Mouse gave himself the name Mouse, and Switch gave themselves the name Switch and stuff like that. But there are some people who were never in the Matrix. They were always born in that city as human beings, I think. And so where did they get their names from? And what would your name be?
James, you're so wise.
Is it based on like what your early 90s? Because mine would be like, so I had two names that I used a lot. One was Gambit 87 because I'm a nerd. And the other one was Hagrid 87.
But that one is not because you're a nerd?
No. That one was because I was a cultured person at the time. And I would unfortunately probably pop up into the real world and they'd be like, we're calling you Hagrid, and I'd have to deal with that.
Yeah, you'd have to accept that.
Okay. I'd at least throw an 87 on there so people know it was my screen name. No, you're Hagrid now.
Could you imagine if I wake up in the Matrix and they're like, welcome, James Willems.
Wait, don't I get a new name?
Nope, that's what you used online pretty much.
Even on AOL, it wasn't something fun like Green Ranger?
I had fun usernames on AOL and stuff. So my first one, I believe, was FWANK. Like Frank, but with a W.
Perfect Matrix name. FWANK?
FWANK, yeah.
Like FWANK?
Yeah.
FWANK!
But then my second one was Cap and Hands.
Okay. Cap and Hands. And
there's a world. People can find out where I found those names from by Googling, I'm sure. Because they didn't just think of them.
This is our team.
Yeah.
Mouse, Tupac, Evan, FWANK, Neo, and FWANK.
Hi, guys. Hey, everybody. I bet I can jump across that building.
No, FWANK, not again.
It's going to be easy.
FWANK, please. We can't reboot the Matrix again.
Where's that lady in the red dress? Ooh.
Who was Morpheus in Greek mythology?
The god of dreams.
God of dreams. Yeah. The son of Hypnos. Little on the money there. The god of sleep.
My AOL name was Funkabetical.
Funkabetical?
That's pretty
like
good.
alphabetical, but funky?
Yeah.
You would be...
I was listening to a lot of... When I was like 10, I was listening to a lot of George Clinton in Parliament.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, man.
As you do when you're 10.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So you wouldn't be part of the team with Morpheus. You'd be someone they would go to for reference. You would have a white long coat and they'd be like, we need to talk to Funkabetical.
Yeah.
You would be somehow an offshoot and they'd go visit you like in a white tomb where you keep all the info.
This is how you use your dreams to drive a car.
Yeah, exactly. Funkabetical.
I bet I could drive it right away.
FWANK, please, FWANK. Stay in the vehicle. Stay in the Nebuchadnezzar, FWANK.
Time for everyone's favorite question on the show. Pokemon or pharmaceutical drug?
Yeah.
It's back.
Is this a Pokemon or a pharmaceutical drug? Absol.
That's a drug.
That's a drug.
I can spell it for you.
No need.
No, spell it. I want to hear it. James, cover your ears.
ABSOL.
That honestly sounds like a cleaner. Like you'd be like, got to get rid of that blood stain. Got to just
clean out my colon with Absol.
Absol. Oh, like your...
Yeah. But also, could it be like Absol? Because it's like, absolutely. So absolutely it's Pokemon.
You can picture a Pokemon being like, Absol. Like,
well,
what
it's
would
not
that...
FWANK.
I couldn't.
That was FWANK,
I mean, that's
actually.
how Pokemon work. I couldn't picture it before. Now I can.
But what would their power be?
Absol. We're past that though. This isn't this isn't like Pokemon Red and Blue. The world of Pokemon now is completely changed.
But it's not like Snorlax where it's like
it's
sleepy.
like a Pokemon in a karate gi with boxing gloves.
Name Absol.
And it's like, that's his skin.
He dissolves bodies. It's a Pokemon that dissolves bodies whole. Like Breaking Bad where you...
Yeah.
He's
a Pokemon in the shape of a giant tube.
Tupperware tube full of acid. Yeah.
I'm going to say it's both.
Okay.
I think it's a trick question. There's a drug called Absol and a Pokemon that's named after that drug.
Which came first?
I'm going to say that the drug came first.
What do we think the drug does?
Don't worry about it.
I think it's just a fizzy drink to settle your tummy.
Oh.
So
We've talked before on this podcast about how some game developers have just cherry picked names from a lunch place across the street from the office or something.
Dalsim,
yeah.
But not this Pokemon.
And this Pokemon originated when somebody had an upset tummy.
They had like an ulcer or something because they were working too hard on the game.
And they went over to the CVS and they're like, Absol, that's great.
I'm going to say pharmaceutical drug because a Pokemon, they'd probably consider the fact that it sounds like you're saying asshole. to some degree.
Absol
Absol does sound like, do you suffer from solid turds that don't come out? Dissolve them with Absol. Do you have calcified poo-poos? Absol will dissolve all your abs solutions. How's that?
What's the answer, Elyse?
Absol is a quadrupedal mammalian Pokemon
Wow.
with a primarily white feline-like body with some dark blue coloration. 3rd generation dark type.
That's
And where's a
disgusting.
karate gi?
Yeah, wait, what is it?
It
What's
has a
its
championship
power?
belt. They don't just have powers anymore. They're just things. They're just
don't-
wild, crazy
Can't keep
things
up.
Well,
now.
no, they've got powers.
Can't keep up with all. They have to have a specific, like, I do.
Grass type.
Yes.
So an
Okay.
Absol appears when it senses a disaster is about to happen. So
Oh,
it's like
great.
Bruce Willis in
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. You know, was that his
We had
power?
to touch him
No,
in the
that
mall.
wasn't
you were
his
talking
power.
about? Yeah.
Yeah.
But no one here knows what Bruce Willis's
It's
powers
swift as
are.
the wind. It races through fields and mountains, and it's acutely sensitive to warning signs of natural disasters.
So you don't want to see or have an Absol.
So it knows that a natural disaster is going to happen and goes towards it. That doesn't seem very evolutionary.
Look at it's like white, almost like not like a fox, but you know, some
But
kind
you
of-
wouldn't like it. It's like, I can sense that there's going to be an earthquake here. Better head to the epicenter. Doesn't sound like a very adaptive kind of
It's a good thing to have with you in your Pokeball. Be like, why is my Absol Pokeball shaking? It's like, tsunami.
Yeah, but this sounds like it like appears in the wild.
It's like the Mothman.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
more like
Mothman,
it.
Are there
yeah.
cryptid Pokemon that like you can't really catch or have? They just kind of appear from like once in a while, like this. Does Absol just appear?
Mew. I mean, you can still catch. You can catch it. Listen,
Okay.
in the world of Pokemon, you can catch anything,
All right.
and I mean anything.
Okay. What are you implying?
Anything.
All
Think
right.
of it. Think of a Pokemon.
Okay. Mew.
You can catch it.
That's okay. Absol.
You can catch that too.
Misty.
Not technically a Pokemon, but I'm
Rock.
sure with enough tools and planning, you can catch her.
All right. Noted. Meowth.
I don't understand the rules of Pokemon. Are you in some way obligated to catch a Pokemon if you see one, or can you just?
There's Pokemon hunters. There are people the trainers. There are tons of people that live in the world of Pokemon that just go, "Oh, it's a Pokemon."
Big game.
Live and
hunting.
let
But
live.
we mostly see Pokemon through the eyes of a trainer, which is someone who says, like, I wish to pursue this. It's like MMA in our life. None of us do MMA.
You don't know that.
Well, none of us that we're aware of do MMA. So it doesn't really affect us all that much, but we still know it exists.
It's animal cruelty. It's basically cockfighting or dog fighting, but everyone's
Yeah.
kind of cool with it.
They love
right?
it.
I mean, that is essentially what the real world analogous thing is.
They meet up
correct?
at the park over here to exchange them and catch them together.
like trading chickens.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's right. I'm going to
Do you
say it. I don't
feed?
think it's right.
Yeah.
I think we should stop it.
I bet there's somewhere in the Pokemon lore, I guarantee you, somewhere in an instruction manual or something where it says, Pokemon love to
They
fight.
love it. They love
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely. They
Pokemon
love this.
love to fight.
It's like what you hear about FWANK, how the way they feed that they're like, it sends them endorphins. Like I've
Yeah,
heard that. And I'm like,
sure,
there
yeah.
ain't no way these
Yeah.
ducks like this. This is horrifying. I also love ducks and I hate that. It's cruel. But Pokemon, yeah, that is at its core problematic.
Except
right?
that
This is why I'll never be in a Pokemon
they
show.
love to fight.
They love
They
it. The
love
endorphin rush
to
they get
fight.
from getting their ass kicked.
Oh my gosh, they love it.
Did they get fed in their little ball things? I feel like that's where you were leading.
I don't know. Yeah, is there like I know that there's a singular Pokemon who you're bonded to or something like that, but what about the other ones? Do they have any say in any of
I
this?
think that's mostly the cartoon. Is that you have your first Pokemon, but you
Right.
can toss that thing.
All right.
You can just
You
put
can
it in a ball.
toss
Be
it.
like,
You don't
"Listen,
need to hold on to that. You
Pikachu, I'm
move on.
tired of you.
This next question may be in AJ's favor, being a Jersey boy.
Uh-oh. Pork roll.
Actress Diane Lane was allegedly the inspiration behind which Bon Jovi song?
Jersey Devil.
Did you know that Diane Lane and Bon Jovi dated, kind of had like a thing? And
John?
Yeah.
John Bon?
Yeah,
John Bon?
John Bon.
I don't know anything about Bon Jovi other than the Bongiovi Funeral Home in New Jersey.
Explain that.
Have I not explained this in a previous episode?
No.
I don't think so.
So most of the LoCascio family has been interred, I believe is the right word, at the Bongiovi Funeral Home. And it is a real thing. I actually shot my thesis film in college there because I needed a coffin and a place for people to mourn. And my parents were like, Bon Jovi. And I was like, what?
Because you'd punched the card 10 times.
If you
and
get
they said
10 dead bodies, you get a free pizza.
Okay.
And they took me to the real horrifying thing is like, I'm pretty squeamish about this stuff. And so they took me back to the room where they like embalm people. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to walk through here to go get a coffin and drag it out. And she was like, the woman who was showing me through was like, and this is where I've interred most of your family or embalmed most of your family. And I just went white. And I was like, all right, let's get out of this room. And it was like a horrible white, like what you imagine in a horror film, Saw style room. It was terrifying. And then we had to drag a coffin out to the main area so we can shoot this film. Very lovely.
What is the difference between a coffin and a casket? Is there one?
There are several differences. A coffin is usually just a simple pine box, and it would be more shaped like a Dracula coffin, whereas the casket is more like a rectangle, and then it would have it'd be made of, a sturdier wood, thicker wood, and they would have like the handles on the side and the fixtures and stuff. There's like other smaller nuances. A casket would more likely be like lined.
It's like a graveyard in a cemetery.
So was your family, did you actually get a coffin or did you get a casket?
I wish they all got coffins because that would be cool because then they'd all be like vampires.
They come back.
There's a question on this show.
The question was which Bon Jovi
I'm saying
song?
Wasn't that a question? I could have sworn the
caskets
coffin
and
casket
coffins?
question.
No, it was an
definitely
episode of
not.
30 Morbid Minutes.
Maybe that's how I know it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Bon Jovi Funeral Home, great place to die.
At the funeral home?
I'm going to say wanted, dead or alive.
She's wanted dead or alive.
Yeah.
Because he says, baby, I want you, whether you're
No,
dead or
because she was a
that's
criminal.
gross. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So I don't know anything about Bon Jovi other than, again, his family's funeral home. So was she somehow tied to the funeral home in any way?
The question is what song
I know.
is about her?
The song that plays when you walk into the funeral home, maybe you did.
Do they
Maybe you did.
do they play Bon Jovi music at the funeral home?
I think that would be a little off color off in poor taste,
You
perhaps.
walk in, it's my life and it now
Is
or
over.
never.
Yeah.
Whoa, living in a
Yeah.
funeral for me.
There's
Over.
they put a slight knot before living.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not my life. I have no idea. I can't name a single song other than the one James just sang because that played a lot on
And then when he
TRL.
sang.
I'm going to go with my original thought for an answer, even though I've come around to the fact that it is most definitely wrong because it's not a Bon Jovi song.
Okay, all
Maybe
right.
he
That's going to
covered
hurt
it.
its odds.
And I'm going to say that song from the end of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves from Bryan Adams.
Everything I do it for you.
I do.
Yeah, because I get the two mixed up.
The correct song is You Give Love a Bad Name. I guess
Wow.
things didn't end well. Diane Lane,
I actually do know that song because who doesn't know that song? That's the
give-
that song.
No, that's Live It on a Prayer.
Damn it.
I'm
gonna go with what I thought.
Love a bad name, and I think I sung that poorly enough that we won't get.
I would just like to note the shit-eating grin on James's face when I named the wrong song, where I went do-ba-do-ba-do, and you looked over at Elise like, what an idiot.
No, I
Your
didn't,
joy.
I didn't do
Your
that.
joy.
What?
in
I
my-
don't really
didn't
know.
get
I
that
don't know Bon
either.
Jovi that well at all. I was thinking like I couldn't remember which one has that because he got really into the when you put that instrument in your mouth and you go rah rah. That was like
Yeah.
a phase he went through where he like
We
really
all go
liked
through
that.
that phase
Is
at
that
some
an
point.
instrument?
Yeah, there's the instrument that you put in your mouth.
It's
So that
got
way
like a
it
tube and I know
Oh.
exactly what you're
And
talking
that
about.
was like a phase that he went through. So I was like, is that the? I couldn't remember
it
what song
called?
it was that you were
I just
doing.
know you love how much I don't know about because we often when we're working
I don't
out.
know that much about Bon Jovi.
But
When
music,
she,
you're a music
I pulled
fanatic.
like maybe 3 songs. I think when she said that, I was like, the only thing I have is Wanted, Dead or Alive, Living on a Prayer, and then It's My Life are like the only 3 that I could
the theme to Reading
And
Rainbow.
I think everyone in this room can relate to this. Where I know John Bon Jovi from is that brief stint he had on Ally McBeal.
Oh, yeah.
When he came in to replace Robert Downey Jr. and we're like,
When he
you're
went to
not as
rehab.
charming as.
He was a dancing baby,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
He did the original Dancing Baby, too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
shock of blonde hair on that Dancing Baby.
Wait, was he replacing him as in he is outright playing the same character?
No,
Just
no.
a love interest thing. Yeah, Ally McBeal is one of those interesting shows where it was such a phenomenon.
And you don't go back to it.
You don't go back to it. It has no presence now in the cultural zeitgeist.
It has
No
a
one-
presence in my life because I will often say to my partner,
Ally McBeal.
Ally McBeal. It's just Harrison Ford constantly wandering around the house at 4 a.m. So, Ally McBeal. Ally McBeal. That's his sleep paralysis or like his
Do you think he's ever seen an episode?
I would love to see him be like, Callista, put on that thing.
Yeah.
That thing that you did.
Put on that thing with the baby. I want to watch the baby show. Yeah, I think it probably has a presence in his life, right? Baby.
I don't know. I don't think
his
he's seen a
wife.
single episode.
Do you
I
think
bet you he has. How do you think he met Callista Flockhart?
He loves
was
the birdcage.
He was
Loves birdcage.
He was a grip on Ally McBeal.
That's
Oh,
what it
he
was.
Yeah, he worked on Ally McBeal, wrote several of the scripts, did the lighting.
Yeah, that's how he met her.
He's a
And so they fell in
multi-talented
love.
man. He's like Jesus. He's a carpenter. He's an actor. He's a preacher.
He was introduced to Callista via David Schwimmer from their time together on
40 days, 3 nights.
Paul
4
Bear.
days,
Six-
3 nights,
oh,
6 days, 7 nights.
Is that
No.
really how that happened?
That
That's
was
it.
Anne Hesh.
Yeah, David Schwimmer though was in
But
it.
David Schwimmer.
I said David Schwimmer introduced. I was just trying to name an obscure Harrison Ford movie.
He didn't think David Schwimmer was the co-lead.
No, I know Anne Heche was in that movie.
So how did he meet Ally McBeal?
I said through David Schwimmer from their time on this movie because I just thought it
but then
because
how
no
did
one ever
David
talks about
Schwimmer
that
know
movie.
her?
It's not real. What I said wasn't real, but
Ding,
I
ding,
wanted
ding,
to
ding.
reference an obscure Harrison Ford movie that's just lost to time.
Yeah, I mean, James, I understand where Elyse is coming from because they were on different networks. They
Mhm.
probably wouldn't have even seen each other at upfronts.
Zach, I keep thinking that your control thing on your chair is like a genie lamp because it has the same profile as Aladdin's lamp.
Well, why don't you just do a little quick rub of the joystick and see if
genie
you get
pops
your
out?
wish.
Let's do it after we finish this
Yeah,
episode.
What was the question? Ally McBeal?
It was the Bon Jovi question. We
Oh,
got
done.
it
We're
right.
still
we
there.
got it right 10 minutes ago.
Oh, no.
It's done.
All right, we're moving
God,
on from-
sorry.
Ally McBeal.
A pirate who is yelling "Avast ye mateys" is actually telling his mates to do what?
Love me.
I mean, I guess there was homosexuality on pirate ships.
There had to be.
There had to have been.
Bunch of sexy men with open shirts just hanging out in the sun, lathered up with coconut
Getting
oil.
Getting
Getting
Yeah.
scurvy. They
Blood,
ain't got
gums
no
bleeding.
vitamins.
Gums bleeding, eyes turning yellow.
Whoa. My version's better. Just a bunch of sexy tropical boys all hanging out on just a couple of the boys hanging out on a deck.
Yeah,
Lots of
Pirate
rope.
Boy
Lot of
Island.
rope on that ship.
it happened.
Yeah.
Is a vast referring to like looking in a certain direction? Like it's like
Look about.
look
like a vast.
starboard.
Oh,
Starboard.
that's interesting.
It's like just a specific term.
Oh,
When you
look at that. Look at that little shitty grin you got.
That's interesting, James.
A vast, I could imagine being like look abroad, like stay, like kind of what you're saying, but like look about, like vastly look.
a vast.
A vast, broad look at the entire ocean.
I feel like that we know Avast because that probably was written in like Treasure Island or whatever.
Mhm.
But like there
Muppets
probably
Treasure
another term with like Avast and Prevast or like
Prevast.
but we never hear about the Prevast one. But you go Avast, everyone knows look starboard, whereas you go Prevast, everyone knows to look port or something like that.
Wow,
Look,
wow.
look inside, look internally.
I say you got to look both sides.
But look
Check
both
'em both.
ways before you
Yeah.
cross the ship.
A vast, look
Yeah.
about.
Or it's just like, watch out, you doofuses.
Or
Yeah.
it's time for kissing because we know all those pirates be
In
kissing.
the context of pirate movies,
Mhm.
which we know to be inaccurate, normally it's like Avast, there's an island.
Mm.
Like it's calling your attention to something, right?
I feel like Jack Sparrow says it as they're like, I've asked you, mate. Like everyone go back to your business and everyone just scatters, right? Like,
Oh, really? I feel like it's the opposite. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel like in my brain, when I hear Avast, everyone's doing all milling about on the ship. And then
Right.
one guy goes like, oh, there's the island. So he goes Avast. And then they all gather around and they go, there it is.
I like that. The
But I
idea of
don't
them
know if that's
grouping
right.
together.
Yeah.
For kissing time, though, usually is what it leads to, is a lot of toothless kissing, which
Hey,
they say
yeah.
is the best kissing. It's the
Yeah, yeah.
Teeth
Ferrari
don't
of
get in the
kisses.
way.
Teeth don't get in the way.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Ferrari of kisses.
You're
Yeah.
all kind of hitting it. It
Mm.
basically means like stop, pay attention.
There it
Oh,
is.
nice, James. Well done.
Nice.
The producers of the 1984 film The Karate Kid had to pay to use the name since it was already owned by another media giant who owned it and still owns it, I think, and was credited in the closing credits of the film.
I mean, it makes me think like Disney or something, probably because they remember all those Kurt Russell was probably in
Yeah.
a movie called The Karate
in
Kid.
the 70s.
Between Barefoot Executive and Baby CEO or whatever. you know?
Is it true that the last thing that Walt Disney wrote down was Kurt Russell?
Yeah, but he spelled his name wrong. Wasn't that like, I
Did he
think
write
that,
Kirk?
I don't know. I know that's an actual rumor. I don't know. I can't verify right now, but I think he wrote
He wrote
Kurt
K.
Russell.
K. Russie.
Well, he wrote Kurt Russell, but he didn't spell it the way Kurt Russell spells his name. And that was the last note that someone found. Yeah.
KIRDISNEY. And then he passed out.
Yeah.
Kurt Disney. You know, Kurt Russell saw a UFO and reported it. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
Like recently?
Because he's a pilot. This is like 10 years ago. And there was I forget, it was some famous like alien incident, something that like you could look up. And they were like, an anonymous pilot spotted this thing, and like on Conan or something, Kurt Russell was like, that was me. Like he saw a news report of an anonymous pilot, and it was him and one of his sons. And I don't know if he has multiple sons. And he was like, wait a second, that was us that reported that.
Wow.
And so there's this weird little Kurt Russell saw an alien.
So he believes in aliens.
I mean, he saw what he saw.
I mean,
So,
he was obviously thing.
I was going to say,
This is
he
true.
could see that whatever was flying, the other object didn't have breath when it was cold. So he was like, I don't trust that thing.
Trust it. So Karate Kid, huh? I mean, what year would you? It does sound like a 60s thing.
1984.
Like 1984. So wait, do we know roughly the date of the original Karate Kid? Can I
don't
ask
know that there is necessarily.
No, just-
She's
Someone
just
just
saying that
owned it.
someone else owned the name The Karate
Karate
Kid. So they had to basically get it, but another major media company. So
Did you say another major media company?
Yeah, media giant, media company. Yeah.
Fine, Warner Brothers. There, final answer.
it was MGM. That was going to be the name of a James Bond movie. 007 in The Karate Kid.
He has to just beat the crap out of a child. Yeah, like
It was originally going to be a starring vehicle for Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney.
Yeah, yep.
Where it's unsure which one of them is the Karate Kid in the
It's
the
Mickey
end.
Rooney, and he's in really offensive makeup.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
That would track. Yeah.
I was a star. I'm
That's
imagining
not the voice he did for that.
I
though.
was a star.
No, that's also
Yeah,
not the
don't
voice
do-
he did.
don't do
Yeah.
I'm not
that
going to do the
voice.
voice he did. I'm just saying that's what he's. God, what was I watching where he was just
Night at the
talking?
Museum.
Was he in Night at the Museum?
Yeah, he's
Pete's
one
Dragon.
of the henchmen. You gotta watch. You ever seen Night at the Museum?
I've
I mean,
never
I saw
actually
the first
seen it.
one many
My
years
brother
ago.
in Christ. We gotta watch the
Oh
Night
my
at the Museum
God.
The
movies.
trilogy?
Okay.
Yeah, let's watch the whole trilogy.
Let's do, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
We'll pause and come back.
Okay.
I feel like the original Karate Kid would be something really like just forgotten media. It would be something that like MST3K would review or like a kid's show. It'd be something that you'd find on VHS.
Oh, what if it's like Hanna-Barbera?
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, have you seen the Karate Kid?
Yeah. Well, because who's Kung Fu-y? Who's that?
Oh God, what
What's
was
his name?
Is it Hung Kung Fu-y? I feel like if
He's-
I'm saying something
Hung
offensive.
Kong Fu-y.
Hung Kong Fu. Hung
Right.
Kong Fu-y.
Oh, I thought you mean like he's real hung.
No, that's yeah. He's got
a dog
a third
in
arm.
a karate gi or
Well,
whatever.
there was like the Ghostbusters filmation thing where it was like
Yeah.
Ghostbusters was owned by someone else.
It was
There was like a Don Knotts movie, and then there was a cartoon. Oh no, it was reversed. Sorry, I'm confusing things. There was a Ghostbusters from like the 50s, and then Ghostbusters, the Dan Aykroyd version, had to pay those folks for the
Mhm.
rights, and then I guess the Hanna-Barbera or someone or Filmation then also did the same thing because they owned the rights to the 1950s name,
yeah.
and so they made a cartoon with the ape.
Yeah.
That's very confusing.
That's why there's the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and then the real Ghostbusters came in and said, "We got this. Hold my ecto cooler."
You kind of got close.
We got
we
close?
got close with Hanna-Barbera.
DC Comics.
Oh,
Whoa.
They had to pay DC Comics to use the name.
That's
I
interesting.
may. That sound. Yeah. That. I mean, not that sounds right because that is right because you're telling us that right. But that sounds familiar.
They credited them because they had a character named Karate Kid, a member of the Legion of Superheroes, and so they got permission from DC Comics to use the title for the film.
Wow.
Interesting. That sounds
Wow.
about right.
That's also great with the Jaden Smith Jackie Chan movie where he doesn't even learn karate. That's cool. That's cool.
Who's going to see Karate Kid Legends?
Probably not.
No.
The Karate Kid is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's perfect. But the problem is now we're so caught up in the nostalgia of Karate Kid that we've forgotten that first movie is pretty much not about karate. Like karate is like just a small factor in the whole politics of that movie.
I just remember when he gives Daniel a car on his birthday and like gives him the chance to choose his car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, which car would I choose? Would
Yeah.
I have gone with that car? If
Yeah.
if I
They're
had
all
the chance.
vintage trucks and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi give him a car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, he was a great guy.
He was a great. I always wanted to live in Mr. Miyagi's house. It feels very LA.
Probably
Where-
you probably can. Like,
I've
it's
looked up
probably out
where
here.
it is,
Have
but
you?
I'm saying like his setup was
Yeah.
really nice because it feels LA because it's not a great neighborhood,
Yeah.
but he's carved out this little space for himself
Little beautiful
that is, which I
paradise.
feel like is the best version of LA living. To find the perfect neighborhood, it's like you're not. It's not going to
Without
financially
paying
viable.
like $10 million.
But if you can find a space that you can carve out for yourself and make it really nice, and then he had the whole like, Japanese style thing in the cars. He had a bunch of old junker cars that he had repaired in the front. I just love that. I love that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Should we stop and watch the 3-night at the museums and then the Karate Kid?
100%.
and then Three
Whoa.
Ninjas,
We'll have to do Three Ninjas.
which James hates.
I didn't like it.
You don't like it.
I
He
didn't want to
prefers-
be a kid
well,
doing karate.
he
I wanted to be
prefers Strike Back.
What is Strike Back?
Three Ninjas.
Kickback?
Kickback.
Surf
Kickback.
Ninjas?
What about
or Attack on Mega
Knuckle
Mountain.
Up?
or whatever.
Knuckle Up?
We're just naming stuff.
Let's do one final question.
One
It's a
final
riddle.
question.
Okay, great.
Oh,
Oh, I
Is
love
it-
riddles.
What's in your pocket?
Not a riddle.
Okay.
I shave every day, but my head stays the same. What am I?
I shave every day.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
What?
My head
What is
stays
that?
the
What is that
same.
reaction?
No.
Why are you
Why are you
reacting
saying,
like
oh
that?
no? Because you know it?
Because you sent the descriptions of the episode so that I could write the episode description, and I saw this question.
Oh no. What
I-
is this inside info?
I
you
have
guys?
to recuse myself.
Wait, hold on. You're
Zach,
giving him.
No, it's because Zach writes the description, the absurd,
Yeah.
extremely long descriptions for the episodes.
I know this.
I don't know if they're too long.
I'll come up with another one. I
Whoa,
got
whoa,
another
wait.
one.
I want to know the answer to
I
the
want to know
other
the answer to
one.
that one because all I could think of, what do you shave outside of hair? I think of
Legs.
Oh, time off of my racetrack.
Your running
my,
score?
Mario
my
Kart
time trials.
the
Yeah.
answer is a barber because you're shaving other people, but your head stays the same.
I was thinking of like shaved ice.
Here's another one for everyone.
Okay.
What has one head, 1 foot, and 4 legs?
My ass.
Foot
And
That's
4
from
legs.
Kung
and
Pao.
4
Enter the
legs.
Fist.
Is it a tripod?
Are you saying that because you're looking at a tripod right
No,
now?
I'm just thinking like because they have tripod heads.
Wait, say
And then-
what was the numbers again?
1 head, 1 foot, and 4 legs.
No, I guess it'd be.
1 head, 1 foot, and 4 legs.
I was thinking a tripod because tripods have heads, and then they might have 4. I guess it'd be a quad pod by
Is
that
it a
logic.
Chihuahua, because they're about a foot long.
I
and
was
they have
gonna say
1 head and
it's what
4
I
legs.
think. It's something
Yeah.
with like the length. Foot is length.
Good, Mr. Know-It-All Zach, reading the descriptions.
I don't know. I didn't read this one.
I'm going to say a small dog
One
because
head.
it's 1 foot long.
It's not a living thing.
1 foot.
It is a hot dog. It's a foot-long hot dog. And because contains the meat of 1 head and 4 legs inside of it. A final answer, foot-long hot dog.
I like that my expression is like, well, now you have a final answer.
You're wincing because I'm so close to the right answer, if not on the money.
1 head, 1 foot, 4 legs.
Yeah, and the lips of a chicken.
What? Wait, the legs?
4 legs.
Oh.
1 head, 1 foot, 4 legs.
How about people who've exploded?
Huh?
The limbs are left over.
Oh my
Just a
god!
pile of limbs.
Could you imagine you see that
can't-
and you go, "This could be a riddle."
This assortment of body parts.
It's an inanimate object. It's not a human being, and it's also not.
A hot dog?
It's not human debris
Uh-huh.
It's
from
a
an
hot dog.
explosion.
Yeah, so a foot
It's
long hot
not
dog.
animal contents of
Not a
any kind.
byproduct.
Oh, now you're saying this.
It's like a chair.
What has a head? There's another name for a head, like the bulkhead of
How
a
about
ship.
a bed?
Oh, there's a head of, and there's a foot of a bed, and the headboard, and 4
Mhm.
legs.
Yep.
Zach
You did
solved it.
You did
Zach
it. It's
solved
bed.
it.
Bed. The answer is bed.
Hot dog. Final answer.
The answer is bed. It's a
Yeah,
bed.
Zach,
Yeah,
Good
you
job,
did it.
Zach.
Hooray!
Hold on. How do we know you didn't read the description on that one?
You don't, and now you never will, so you can't trust anything I say.
Never again.
AJ side story. They used to sell all beef hot dogs for lunch in school, and you could.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. But our school, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the same for you, almost all the kids would either get diarrhea or throw up the first day of the school year from the all beef hot dogs. And then eventually that would start to clear up. But
Mhm.
everyone would get sick the first day they served it at school. It was like a known thing.
It was like a ritual.
Yeah.
It sounds like
My brother threw up in his shirt.
a rite of passage.
Like he was embarrassed, didn't know what was happening, and had to throw up inside his t-shirt.
Yeah, that probably made it better.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I don't want to be embarrassed.
and threw up in his shirt. But everyone I know got at least diarrhea or threw up the first day.
Interesting.
So yeah,
But you know what that does? No one can be above anybody. Nobody can be cool because
That's
we
what it
all
is.
had diarrhea and vomiting.
I went to a very communist school.
The teacher that everyone learned to love was the one that brought them together by poisoning all their hot dogs.
Yeah.
The Ozymandias of your school.
So beautiful.
This has been the Answer for a Podcast. Thanks for listening and subscribing. We have new episodes every single Tuesday.
Sorry about that.
If you love the show, leave a positive review, leave us a comment.
I was going to say send Elyse money on Venmo.
Oh,
Okay, that's
Okay.
well, that's
Yeah,
not
you
public.
have to. The riddle is how to find her. Venmo me at FWANK.
Shouts out James's mom, AJ's mom.
yeah, all the moms.
No, not mine.
Oh,
mine
okay.
Not mine
lasted
either.
to 5 minutes and she's like, it's not for me.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well,
And we'll see you guys next week.
Woo.
Yeah.
This is a serious question. Should we go to Costco to get hot dogs for lunch?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
You can get something else there.
Well, like what? The
Chicken
Costco
bacon.
pizza also made me sick.
Wait a minute. That story about everyone getting diarrhea and throwing up from the hot dogs was like, that made you say, we should go to Costco.
Yes,
Get some
it
hot
did.
dogs.
It did. Yeah.
You can
that's
get
how
a chicken bake there, AJ.
I gotta go work.
He's got to go to work.
I have a session in a half hour
Oh my God.
Of the voice?
of kissing, a kissing session. Me and a bunch of
okay.
pirates are. Yeah, I've got no teeth.
I could do it. How come you've never recommended me for any voiceover
I thought
jobs?
you were saying how come
AJ?
you've never
I
kissed
don't
me.
have that kind of power.
I can do that.
I mean, that was pretty good. Yeah, if I have an all kissing game, then you're in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I love you. Bye bye.
See you next time.
Kisses.